Hi everybody, it's me Jill and welcome to Jill Informed. This is the recap of Vanderpump Rules Season 8, Episode 1. There Goes the Neighborhood. Okay, it starts off with the Toms pulling up to Tom Tom. Apparently Sandoval still has that motorcycle with the sidecar. I really did not think that he was going to be keeping that. I thought it was just like basically a rental for that opening, but apparently not. Apparently that's how they ride to work together. So the show opens at Tom Tom. Okay, so do you guys remember like at the end of last season when we were talking about how they really probably needed to get some young blood in there? Because Tom and Ariana bought a house, and Jax and Brittany bought a house, and Kristen bought a house, and Tom and Katie bought a house, and that they're getting older and they're marrying off and they're moving out to the burbs. It just didn't feel like the same show that started, 8 seasons ago with these young kids who were servers and bartenders at SUR. Well, somebody heard us because they are getting in some young blood. We have a Max who is the manager at Tom Tom. There's Dana who is the hostess at Tom Tom, but Tom Schwartz said that she's very good at her job and that Lisa is trying to poach her for SUR. So she may be moving over to SUR. Those are the only two we met so far, but I think there's going to be a couple more. Okay, now we move over to SUR, and Jax is still working there as a bartender, unbelievably. Sheena is still there as a server. We now have Raquel as a server. We heard about that at the last reunion. And now we're introduced to Brett, who is a new server, bartender. I'm not sure. I think Sheena's already got her claws into him. I don't know if Adam's coming back or not, but I think Adam and Sheena is kind of over. So Sheena is giving this Brett the rundown. She's like, okay, so because you're very hot, like all the girls are going to hit on you. So just know that. And I'm divorced, by the way. Just saying, no big deal. Doesn't define me. But also you should know, like Lisa, do you know what kind of tea she likes? So now Lisa shows up and she's talking to Raquel. And she's like, how's it going? And Raquel said, it's really good. This is my 16th shift. And I really think my pageant training has helped me. And Lisa's like, oh, okay. I've never heard that one before. But in a weird way, like I kind of understand that. Just in terms of like smiling and being personable. And I do think it would help her be a server. Oh my God, you guys, am I going to like Raquel this season? Oh, we'll see. Anything's possible. In Lisa's confessional, she said, Raquel requested to work at SUR so many times before, and I wasn't sure I wanted to let her do it because of the dynamic with James, and, I had to part ways with him, so I didn't know if it was a good idea. Lisa asks her how James is about her working there, and she's telling her that it's hard and that it's a trigger for him. When I put on my SUR uniform, he looks like he's going to cry. Oh my God. Good Lord, if it's that hard for him, Raquel, maybe you wait till you get to work to change into your uniform. In her confessional, she said it's like a puppy when you're leaving for a road trip and you open your suitcase and your puppy jumps in. God. Poor James. Okay, so then we find out in Sheena'S Confessional that Katie, Lala, Brittany, and Ariana, none of them work at SUR anymore. See what I mean? This is totally changing. And that the last two there are Sheena and Jax from the old guard. So Sheena brings Brett around and she introduces him to Jax. Jax, oddly, in front of Brett, starts telling the whole story about how he doesn't know what's going on with Sandoval and he's been texting him and he doesn't text back. And, it's like high school. So he had no choice but to demote him from co-best man to groomsman. Then we hear Sandoval's version of the story, and Sandoval's like, it was a pre-bachelor party, which, first of all, no such thing. And secondly, I told him that I needed to step back, do some family stuff. It was Mother's Day, and I wanted to fly home and see my mother. So, I mean, I don't know who's telling the truth, or like if it's somewhere in the middle. I suppose it probably is, but that's going to be some drama this season. So Jack says, so are you guys dating yet? And Sheena'S like, no, we just met this weekend. Brett's confessional. Actually, Sheena and I have hooked up already. Okay. Oh, it's comforting to have things that don't change. Oh God, it gets worse. He's describing how they first hooked up, and he said he was out at a bar with a buddy, and then they ran into her, and then she invited them back to her apartment to play Scattergories. It just cracks me up. Is that like a euphemism for something? Anyway, so then they kissed, and he said, that wasn't what I expected. No offense to her. The producer goes, wait, are you saying she's not a good kisser? Brett, that is what I'm saying. Oh my God. All right, now Sheena is explaining that she is not seeing Adam anymore, and she did briefly date Max, the GM at TomTom that we were just introduced to. And I guess it was going great, at least according to Sheena. And then he ghosted her right after she bought him an Apple Watch. Girl, you are so cute. Here's my advice. Work on your personality and work on your self-esteem. And maybe work on your kissing? Sorry. Side note, I didn't think it was going to be an issue, but apparently this is going to be a thing. Earlier, when we first met Dana back at TomTom, she was telling a couple of the servers there that she and Max hooked up. I think like just for the first time. And the other girl was like, oh, he's with a different girl every night. Oh, we're back at TomTom talking with Dana and Max. Apparently it just happened the night before, because Dana says he's acting so weird and this is strange, because she said, oh, are we not supposed to say anything about last night because you just left this morning and we didn't make that plan? And she's like, it's not like I don't know he's going commando because his underwear is still at my house. Thanks for that visual. I think I'm gonna like this chick. She's kind of cool. She seems like she might be kind of smart, and she's quick with the comebacks. He's like, listen, I'm your boss, so this just doesn't feel right. And she's like, but I'm going to SUR. And he goes, yeah, well, I've hooked up with girls there too, and people talk. Okay, dude. And she said, oh, so I shouldn't go wearing a t-shirt that says I hooked up with Max. How about you? I like her. Now we move back over to TomTom, and Stassi and Beau show up to have dinner. We find out that Stassi's grandmother just passed away, and she's been on the show before. It's really sad. They had a very sweet relationship. So she's trying to compartmentalize that and not have it put a damper on everything else, because she has a lot of good things happening in her life. I don't know if she's engaged to Beau yet. Maybe not. Maybe that happens later in the season. In real life she is, but. And her book, what is it called? Next Level Basic? Something like that. Is on the bestseller list. So she's got good things in her life, but of course she's feeling upset about her grandmother. So Lisa comes over, she gives her condolences. Then they talk about Kristen a little bit. Stassi says, I don't know what's going on with her, because I feel like she lied at the reunion. She said that she and Carter were broken up, but yet everybody there knows that Carter still lives with her, and they still see each other every day, and they still have sex. So it was kind of bothering Stassi that she lied, and she just didn't feel like, I don't know. She feels like she's drifting away, I guess. The next scene is Stassi and Beau packing to go to her grandmother's funeral. And Stassi's giving the eulogy, and she's afraid she's not going to do it justice. Beau's like, yeah, of course you will. And she's like, oh, at my funeral, I want it to be like a haunted house. And I want tray carriers to all look like me. And then I want my body to be taxidermied and put in a corner so that people could take selfies with me. Didn't Tamara want to do that? Why does that sound familiar? So she's saying, so we're going to miss Tom and Katie's housewarming party. Also, we didn't see Tom and Ariana's or Jax and Brittany's, but they all look the same. Then we see the three houses together. She's not kidding. It would be very hard to tell them apart. Okay, so I guess they all live in Valley Village, California. I don't know where that is, or like how close that is to West Hollywood. We're seeing all their houses now. Jax is mowing the lawn, and Tom and Ariana are emptying boxes. I will say this, though. I don't like the location of Tom and Ariana's house. It is on like a really busy corner. Okay, so I think we're getting a little bit more to the heart of what's going on between Sandoval and Jax, just because he and Ariana were the first ones to buy a house and move out to Valley Village. And when Jax and Brittany moved, I guess they moved next, Jax kept one-upping everything that Tom would say. Like Jax would say, oh yeah, that's okay, that's good for you guys, but like we need to be in a little bit of a better school zone because, we're planning to have kids. And just a bunch of little digs like that. And Sandoval's like, Ariana and I are together. We're fine. We're not getting married. We're not going to have kids. Can I just like have this one thing without you kind of constantly one-upping me? So I think there was seeds of annoyance before this whole pre-bachelor party thing. Where is Valley Village? I'm going to have to look that up because Kristen also bought a house there. And Kristen's is the one I really like. It is a cute little cottage. I would move into that in a second. Tom and Katie are talking about their housewarming party and who they're inviting. And they're wondering if they should invite Carter. And Katie is saying basically the same thing that Stassi said before. I don't know. It's weird. Like they're broken up, but they still live together. Back at Stassi and Beau's, Stassi is telling him that she is going to have to go over and see Kristen because since they're going out of town, she's like, I don't even know when I'm going to get a chance to talk to her. I'm just going to have to do this. And, if she's trying to make it work with Carter, like she just needs to be honest about it. And I'm just going to tell her the only way you would lose me as a friend is if you keep lying to me. The next scene is Lala coming over to Lisa's house. And Lisa talks about how she was exhausted from opening Tom Tom. And then Caesars came along and invited us to join their establishment. We get another look at Vanderpump Gardens in Las Vegas. That looks so cool. Side note, I always have these fantasies about doing a meetup with all you guys somewhere, and it used to be like I wanted to go to the Regency in New York or something like that. But after seeing this, and because I'm freezing cold and the weather is much nicer in Las Vegas, I'm thinking, oh yeah, that would be better. Let's all meet up in Vegas. It would be so much fun. One day I'm going to actually really plan this, you guys. So start saving now. They're talking about Lala is 7 months sober and it's the best gift she's ever given to herself. She's so happy. And she wants to reach out to James, but, she doesn't want to like push her agenda on anybody. But Lisa really thinks James needs to get sober himself. So then she tells her she misses her and what's going on with her. And Lala tells her that when she was in Utah, she got very involved with the Humane Society. And so if there's anything she needs her to do. So in Lisa's confessional, she tells us that Lala, she was a great little hostess, but she's in a very different place in her life right now. Lisa's like, I can't really see her taking a private jet to do her shift at Sir. So she's like, well, Vanderpump dogs can always use volunteers. And Lala's like, yeah, if I have to clean up, I'll do it, whatever. So is that what Lala's going to be doing on the show this season? Volunteering at Vanderpump Dogs? I doubt we're going to see her in the t-shirt picking up dog poop. I don't know. Something seems a little weird about that. Okay, so now Stassi goes over to Kristen's apartment. She looks a wreck, and Stassi actually makes a joke about how Kristen has a way of making her outward appearance look the way she feels. You know, when I'm depressed about something, like I'll try to put on a little blush before I go out, make myself look presentable on the outside. But no, Kristen looks like she's been crying for perhaps days. So they kind of get right into it. Stassi says, I feel like I've been lied to. Kristen said, what are you talking about? And she said, well, you're telling everybody you're broken up, but he still lives here. And she's like, yeah. And you still see him every day. That's my choice. And you still have sex with him. That's my choice. So Kristen is saying, look, I'm dealing with this breakup however I want to deal with it. That shouldn't bother you or concern you. You, as my friend, should just support me no matter what. Stassi is saying, I feel like you're lying to the world and saying you're broken up when you're really not. If you're not, okay, just don't lie about it. But Kristen swears that they are breaking up. So Stassi said, okay, so in a week when you have to move out of here and you go into your house, where's Carter going to go? And she said, he's moving in with Sean. They're going to get a place together. He just told me that today. So Stassi's like, thank God. So anyway, Kristen's really crying now. And she's like, you know, I really miss you. And Stassi said, I miss you too. And she said, I just want to like secretly judge people and like have lunch and stuff. And Stassi's like, that's all she needed to hear. That's my favorite thing to do. And they hug and it's all good for now. Okay, so now we are at Katie and Tom's and the party is about to start. People are arriving. In Katie's confessional, Katie looks rough, harsh. Maybe it's her makeup. I don't know. She's so pretty and not so much here. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, she said that because we are homeowners now, we have to have sophisticated parties. That's why I'm filling up super soakers with vodka. Anyway, they are inviting the newbies too. Max and Brett and probably Dana is coming. Oh yeah, Dana is there because Peter calls her over to sit down. Side note, what the hell happened to Peter? Like he's all roided out or something. I don't know what's happening, but he does not look the same at all. Whatever. But get this. Do you remember the party at the Madrion that the guys had when they did their staycation? When the girls were off somewhere? I can't remember. Oh, is that when they went to that little, what was that place? With the windmills and they went on a wine tour or something. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, the guys got together, had a staycation at the Madrion. That's when Jax and, was it Beau? Called Brittany and Stassi to tell them that the girls were there and, you know, but they weren't anywhere near the girls. Something like that. It was so stupid. Anyway, get this. One of those girls was Dana. So right now at the housewarming party, Peter calls her over and he's like, so I don't want things to be weird about, you know, like what happened with us last year. And she, this is why I like her. She genuinely has a blank look on her face. And she goes, what happened last year? Love it. I don't know if she really knows. Probably. I'm sure she really knows, but I love it. And he goes, we were in the bathroom together. And she said, yeah, I was peeing. Why would he be in there with you? And she's like, are you saying it was something different than that? And he's like, oh yeah. Yeah, we made out. And she goes, we did not make out. And he goes, yeah, we did. No, you tried to kiss me and then I leaned away and then I laughed. In her confessional, she goes, I have no idea why Peter is trying to say that we made out. I'm pretty sure I would remember my first time making out with a pirate. So far, so good, Dana. You have not done anything to change my opinion that I think I am really going to like you. I have high hopes for her. Are there any other new girls? I don't think so. At least not yet. Okay, so now Sheena shows up with Brett. I don't know what that means. And right away she's like, oh, hi, and kisses Max hello. And then she's like, she's all flirty and like brushing his collar like she might have gotten lipstick on it. And then Kristen said, how's everything going with Max? And she's like, oh, it's great. We're like best friends. Well, not best friends, but like we're good friends. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Then she says, we like literally talk every day and we're going to Palm Springs next weekend. Well, Dana overhears that. Dana, remember Dana, who still has Max's underwear on the floor of her bedroom? Yeah. In Dana's confessional, she goes, I knew that Sheena and Max dated in the past, but now I hear they're going to Palm Springs for a couple's vacation. Cool. Yeah, love it. Oh, Jax asks, Kristen, where's your significant other? Is he coming? And she said, I don't have one. And then we turn to the front door and in comes Carter. So someone invited him. Okay, so Brett and Max are in the corner having a really fun conversation about Sheena. Brett's like, honestly, like every time I come to Tom Tom, it's like Sheena's on my hip. And, I don't know if you guys are a thing or like, I'm not trying to be with her or anything, but I'm just wondering, like, was it the same way with you when you first started there? Like, was Sheena, like, all over you? And Max is like, well, I mean, Sheena is, like, boy crazy. Katie overhears that. Katie kind of lingers a long time by the refrigerator to hear a little bit more and then go back and tell Sheena. So now Sheena goes over there and says, oh, hey, what are you guys talking about? Did you say I was boy crazy? Oh, boy. Sheena goes off the rails kind of quick. He's like, I did. I don't think boy crazy is like a bad term. And she's like, well, and like, did you say like you made a mistake of like hanging out with me too much? And he's like, okay, and he gives her a hug and she's like, it's fine. But like, you're coming over next weekend. And like, I just thought we were friends. And with this, getting over this whole thing with Adam, like, I just don't like being called crazy. I don't like being called crazy. Oh, girl. Camera pans over to Brett, who's like slowly taking a drink, thinking to himself, I may have just dodged a bullet here. Max ends up like hugging her and saying, I love you. I don't want to hurt you. And she's like, I love you too. Dana, of course, is looking on. Now Max goes over to Dana and says, can I talk to you for a minute? So they go outside and sit down and he's like, yeah, I just want to talk about last night real quick. This'll be fun. He's like, so, since you're going to work at SUR, like, it wouldn't be a problem at all, like, if we hang out. So I'm just wondering if maybe you'd want to, like, go, like, out for a bite before you go into work. Is he asking her out on a date after the whole thing with Sheena? So we get his confessional and he's like, I have a really strict rule about not dating somebody at work. And I broke that with Dana. So now that she's not going to be at Tom Tom anymore, I guess it's all good. And so she said, well, let me just ask you something real quick first. Are you going to Palm Springs with Sheena next week? And he's like, well, he goes, not alone. I mean, yeah, I am going. And she goes, is it just the two of you? And he goes, it's not as far as I know. You may want to just confirm that before you go, dude. Dana wants to know what's going on with him and Sheena. And this is his answer. We have not hooked up since the last time we stopped hooking up. Okay. Well, that explains it. Thanks, Max. In Dana's confessional, she's like, I don't know. I know there's red flags all around, but I just can't help it. He makes me Twitter-pated. Ugh. Come on, girl. I'm pulling for you. Don't be stupid, okay? She ends up saying, yeah, I mean, let's hang out tomorrow and, like, we'll just go from there. See what happens. So he's like, yeah, okay. Oh, okay. Well, the Caped Crusader, Lala, has gone to give Carter a piece of her mind. She's like, Carter, can I talk to you for a second? And he's like, yeah, Mama, what's up? She cuts right to the chase. Well, Kristen is our friend. She cries often. He's like, yeah, because you're still living at the apartment. Yeah, no, I know. Well, I'm moving out. And she kind of goes off on him for being a mooch, basically. It does seem like you've kind of latched on and you go home where, you got your bills paid and you don't have to worry about anything. If you can't afford it or take care of it, baby girl's got a job. She'll take care of you. And he's like, so in Lala's confessional, she goes, I know what it's like to not be the financial equal of your partner, but I'm making up for it in other ways. I take care of the household. I give killer BJs. What's Carter doing? I love that girl. Okay, now Sandoval goes out to the pool by Jax and they have a talk. Jax is like, you never invited me over to your house. And he's like, well, we don't have much furniture or anything. And Jax said, I'm not going to judge you. And he goes, but you do judge me. That's the thing. Like, as soon as I got the house, you're like, well, what's the square footage and where's it located and all that. I felt like everything was going to be better with you. Well, I need to be in a better school district. Jax goes, I do, because we're going to have kids. You guys aren't. And he's like, okay. You've been kind of one-upping me the whole way. And Jax goes, because I'm like, he's going to get a shoebox. And I got to get a big house because Brittany's probably going to want 2 or 3 kids. I'm going to have to pay for this big house and everything. I don't know if Jax was really more kind of freaking out by how much he would have to get. But Sandoval saw that as one-upping him. Like, I'm going to have a bigger house. But Jax saw it as, no, I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm kind of freaking out about it. I don't know. But he does say, but the thing that really hurt me is I sent you all these texts and you never replied. And then Sandoval said, I did reply. No, you didn't. I didn't get any of those texts. Sandoval pulls his phone up and he's like, right here. I said, but I'm sorry I can't go. But as soon as I get back, just let me know what you need. I'll be there for you. And he's like, well, I didn't get that. Sandoval goes, you replied to it. He's like, oh, well, all right. Like, I didn't remember that. Okay, Jax. Jax is a bit of a groomzilla. He may end up being worse than Brittany with this whole wedding thing. In any case, Jax says, I would love for you to be my best man. And Sandoval said, I would be honored. And they hug, but Jax is just a little too precious. I think that's going to wear on Sandoval again. Okay, back inside, Kristen and Carter. I don't know, man. That feels a little unhealthy to me. I used to love Carter because Kristen's a whack job. And I thought, oh my gosh, she finally has a stable guy. Anyway, she was freaking out because he was talking to Lala for so long. And he said, well, basically, Lala told me I should get out of your house and that you don't want me there. And she goes, see, now this is why they piss me off. They don't know what I really believe and all that. And he goes, well, you don't have to defend me. And she goes, I want to. And she's kind of defending him. And then he leans into her and he goes, I love you. And kisses her on the side of her head. And so in Kristen's confessional, she's pretty upset with Lala. She said, I would expect this from Stassi or Katie, but not Lala. So she goes to talk to Lala. So she said, I saw you talking to Carter out there and it really made me nervous. And I just want to know what's going on. And Lala said, yeah, honestly, I would like to know what's going on too. Because after her conversation with Carter, she was starting to take Carter's side. Because he was telling her things she did not know. And she started thinking, okay, Kristen's lying to me. So now she's saying, yeah, I would really like to know what's going on too. Because when somebody confides in me something, and then I find out you're going to Carter, asking him for advice or going to him or turning to him to talk to him about things, then I feel like what you were confiding in me couldn't be further from the truth. And I don't like being lied to. And Kristen said, it's messy and complicated. And Lala goes, it's been messy for a long time. Kristen, I'm sorry it's not working for you. Lala, is it working for you? Which is just what Stassi said earlier. And Kristen says, I'm doing the best that I can. Lala's like, okay, that's fine. Then you do you. Then don't come to me and get me to try and help you. And she goes, you're not helping me. Okay, that's fine. Because you know what? You're doing to me what you did to Stassi and Katie, and I'm not into it. So Kristen gets up and she goes, oh, this is bullshit. You playing the Stassi and Katie card? And they're getting like really loud. And so now like outside in the hot tub is Jackson Sandoval can hear it. And they're like, what is going on? Sorry, I love Lala. In her confessional, she's like, I will not be spoken down to by this sugar mama who I am just trying to save from her disaster of a relationship. Well, now Katie is involved. And she's like, Kristen, you don't get to just walk away. Nobody's attacking you. Nobody's getting in your face. People are just trying to be real with you. And then Kristen goes, do you hear your voice right now? Katie's like, okay. So now Brittany gets involved. Let's all sit down and talk together. Let's figure this out. Katie, stop acting like no one's been there for you, Kristen. It's so tired and old. I'm going to say this loud in your ear so that you hear it. I'm tired of you saying what a good friend you are and what a shitty friend everybody else is, because that's bullshit. And then she leaves. So Kristen leaves upset, and Katie's like, I mean, how many times can I have somebody crying on my balcony for 7 hours and me just wanting better for her? And just, I'm over it. This episode is done. We see some previews for the entire season upcoming, and oh boy, is it action-packed. All right, guys, that's it for me. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up. Click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below. What is your first impression of Dana? Do you like her as much as I do? What do you think of Max? What about Brett? Gosh, James wasn't in this episode at all, not even once. That's interesting. I wonder if he's going to have a diminished role this season. But we got a lot coming up, so I hope you will join me next week for the next episode of Vanderpump Rules. Bye.